Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to another episode of the FightersRep podcast with yours truly and none other than the legendary Coach D right here by my side. Well, actually not by my side, Coach, you're all the way in Houston, Texas. But, you know, theoretically and spiritually speaking, you're by my side. How you doing, Coach?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Listen, we had a funky weekend of boxing,
Yeah.
an interesting weekend of boxing. If that's what you want to call it, some people would be offended to call.
Man, I think it was great. I think it was a great weekend of boxing.
Well, I like to hear that. I especially enjoyed Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora, Coach, what we're going to cover today. Of course, I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight, and Surdo fought too, right? Surdo against Yunieski Gonzalez.
My bad.
So
My bad, brother.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I was saying, so we also had Surdo fighting Surdo against Yunieski Gonzalez, I believe is how you say his name. Another good fight. But let's start off. Let's start off with our friends from across the pond, Coach. Did you get a chance to watch the Derek Chisora versus Joseph Parker rematch?
Man, did I? I'm a Derek Chisora fan, bro. And to be honest with you, I think the hardest thing about not being a Derek Chisora fan is probably coming out of the closet to your parents, man. If you don't like Derek Chisora, bro, you don't like fighting, man.
I agree.
You don't like fighting.
I
bro.
agree. Yeah, I agree, man.
We can't sit here and applaud guys like Gabriel Rosado. Guys like Sean Porter, and talk about we love those guys because they fought everyone, right? And everybody, and not love Derek Chisora, man. And love him or hate his ability. He tries to win, bro. He tries to win. He's not in there trying to, yeah, man. So I'm a tune in anytime he fights, man, till he gives it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that guy is such a warrior. And they call him the Del Boy, but they also say Derek War Chisora, and there is, not really a more fitting nickname than that, Coach. And
At all.
he brought it. He brought it to Joseph Parker, but I did think he did a better job in the last fight. I feel like Parker figured him out a bit in this fight.
Yeah, that's all that was, because Parker didn't outfight him or nothing. He knew how to box him, and that's what he did. So I tell you, man, it's hard to root for. It's hard to Parker, bro. I mean, he's an athlete. He's got ability.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's a fighter though, bro. Like, I don't know that he's I want to say it right because I don't want to put him down or nothing. I think he was a titleist at one time, but
He was, yeah, he was.
I just don't see that. I don't see that will, that drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like he fights like it's a contest,
Right.
And and he's good enough to beat Chisora, but bro, Chisora been on the back nine, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up, and I love that we're giving him his props for his entertainment value, Coach, because here's a guy in Chisora who now has lost 12 fights, Coach. Yeah. He's lost 12 fights, but he continues to sell out stadiums. Yeah, in the UK, stadiums, you guys. And for me as a promoter, man, that me who loves the fighting culture, especially where in situations, in the rare instances where guys get props for being warriors, just for going in there and fighting. I really appreciate this guy so much. I mean, he's almost like flying in the face of the sort of money hungry aspect of these combat sports. You know what I mean, Coach?
Absolutely, and and the Brits love him. He's like a for me anyway. He's a better Frank Bruno. How they love Del Boy like they used to love Frank. I'm sure they probably love Frank a little more, but
Yeah, yeah.
they love Del Boy, bro. They show up. They show up, and Del Boy is more of a fighting man to me.
Yeah.
Or maybe not more of a fighting man. I ain't gonna say Bruno wasn't a fighting man, but Del Boy is trying to win, bro. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna curry him.
Right.
And
right.
I'm sorry, Tyson curred Frank Bruno 2 times, really.
Yeah.
He stood up to Lennox, and Lennox just dealt with him. But you're not gonna cur Del Boy, bro. I don't believe that at all. So he's man. I love that dude, bro. He's as American fighter. He's as American as a British dude could be, huh?
Yeah.
Fight wise,
Yeah.
like fight wise, like a what they call him, a role warrior. I like him, bro. I just like him, bro.
Yeah. He goes to war every time, and it's almost like, it works for him at times, obviously, because that sort of reckless abandon, Coach. I mean, I can sit here with a straight face and tell you I thought he gave Alexander Usyk a much better fight than Anthony Joshua did, and it's all about that tenacity. It's all about that attitude he's got.
He may have drew that fight,
Yeah,
or certainly was in there for 5 rounds, certainly.
for sure.
And Usyk, that was one of the reasons I was worried about Usyk, because Del Boy is a little heavyweight stature wise,
Right.
Not mass wise. He's a big dude, but he's what, about 6'2" maybe.
Yeah, he's not that tall. He's not that tall at all.
He's not long. He's not the length of these heavyweights today. And Usyk really couldn't do what he wanted to do. He ended up, but it's that style. It's that Papachenko style of fighting too. He had to stick around and wait too, kind of like Loma did with what you call him?
Tio?
With our guy, with Tio,
No.
until he bit down. But of course, Usyk, I think, bit down in enough time,
Yeah.
So where I'm not gonna argue that he won the fight. So I was really curious about the Joshua fight and wanted to see how it shook out.
Yeah. And
But yeah, man, big. Hey, 2 of those knockdowns was bullshit, bro.
yeah.
The 2 knockdowns wasn't knockdowns, bro, at all. Like he got hit. And then they shoved him
Pushed.
down.
Yeah, he got pushed. Yeah.
And the first one I want to say he got hit and he was pushed again. One of them was a real knockdown when he caught him in the inside and he kind of took the knee forward. But man, I'm like, what are they looking at, man? What is this ref looking at, man?
Right.
That shit is bullshit, because that matters. I mean, this kid ain't winning no rounds, and now you're giving him 2 10-8s that he didn't deserve on top of the 10-8 he got.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
Yeah. No, it was definitely tough. Not the best refereeing, but Joseph Parker.
And look at the judge, but look at the judges, G. Some of them judges had to fight like a round apart or 2 rounds apart. That's bullshit too.
Right.
Parker clearly won the fight, man.
Right.
It wasn't even close. Score points, it wasn't even close. By the time you talk about 2 other 10-8 rounds, how the hell did a judge have it like 14-13 or 14-12? I didn't write it down, but
Yeah.
I was like, man, y'all playing with guys' careers, man. That's insane, man.
Bad. And we talk about our judging here. I mean, it looks like it's inescapable all over the world, man. There's some horrible judging going on.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it last week when we was talking about what you look for in boxing.
Right.
Well, each judge has his own criteria too. It's kind of crazy, bro.
Yeah.
We the only sport does shit like that.
Yeah, we need to figure that out, And I will point out, I mean, there was a UFC fight where I believe it was Angela Hill, where even Dana White had her winning coach, and somehow the judges, I mean, it was a horrific decision. the judges decided the other girl won, and that basically cost her a $75,000 bonus or something. I was just looking at it online. So you talk about, ruining careers. It's certainly doing that. Coach, I did want to ask you, though, about, because for me it's fascinating. Joseph Parker's, his demeanor. I mean,
Yeah.
he did a better job this fight. He did a great job, obviously, working with Andy Lee and the Furies out there. I mean, it looks like, it's starting to pay dividends for him. But, you mentioned his attitude. I kind of feel the same way about him at times, Are you just not seeing the mean streak you want to see? Are you the killer instinct that you want to see? Is that what's missing from him?
Yeah, I see no gameness. What they call game.
Yeah.
He's a game fighter. You give him an inch, he'll take it, right?
Yeah.
And even C fighters can have game. They can be game fighters. They bite down. They trying to win, even though they don't have the ability. Where like with Joseph Parker, you see some ability there, but he's not gonna put it this way. We know for sure Derek got rocked a couple times in that fight, right?
Yeah.
And definitely that knockdown, the legitimate one was, right? And clearly Derek has learned through his career how to do certain things, and I love to watch it, right? But when he walks off to that corner and waves you in, now I don't know, do people know it, what he was doing actually got, the 10 sec, the 8 seconds plus the seconds of him standing there and the ref checking him out. So let's call it 15 seconds. Then he walks to the corner of the ring. Let's call it another 10 seconds. And then you wave him in there. That's 30 seconds now instead of the 8 count, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And the second part was he's such a fighting man that even if he is a little dizzy, you're not gonna knock me down because my back's against this corner, right? So it's stuff like that he's learned throughout his career, being a fighting man. But there is no way that a heavyweight titleist and top 5 heavyweight in the world is supposed to be confused about what to do next.
Yeah.
You got a wounded dog in front of you with his back's against the ropes. You know he's gonna wing a hook. That's what he's gonna do. So what, you don't know what to do right there? Yeah. So you either don't know what to do or you're not willing to do it, right? I don't know which one it is, but I'll tell you this, I don't see the gameness in him to bite down when he's going to have to. Where old Windmill Wilder can't fight, but he has all the game in the world like he showed us in that last one. He's trying to win. As long as he's conscious, he's trying to fucking knock somebody to outer space, right?
I can't agree more, and it kind of makes me sad, Coach. It makes me sad, right? Because here you have this obviously big, strong, talented Samoan kid. I think it's great. To have people from, different ethnicities and stuff like that in the sport to bring more attention to the sport. So you have this, kid from, I believe it's Australia, but, I think of Samoan descent, and he's got all the tools.
Maybe New Zealand, huh?
Maybe New Zealand. I could be wrong. Yeah, but
one of them.
But he's got all the tools, and just doesn't have. It's almost like he's forcing himself. It's almost like he's forcing himself to fight at times. At least in my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing as well, Coach.
No, I agree with you. I mean, how many times we've seen guys and I think I said this to you before too. They top fighting dogs. They top fighters. They willing to beat somebody to pieces as long as he's not facing no pressure. No fight back. Right. Or he's never been rattled or hurt. A lot of times, man, fighters get changed, bro. You may not even recognize it, but they get wobbled and hey, Broner, case in point, right. Broner.
That's the first person that popped in my head when you said that. When he fought Maidana, it all went out the window.
Yeah, all the ability in the world. I mean, are we gonna argue that Broner couldn't box? Of course he could. And of course he had natural athleticism. But boy, the fight show got ran out of him, huh?
It sure did, and we all saw when it happened too. And you know what, Coach? You know what's interesting? Maidana did it to a couple people because he was a nasty SOB, man. And I remember he did it. I felt like he did it to Victor Ortiz for a while. For a while, people thought Victor Ortiz was, for lack of a better word, a coward is what people were calling him after his fight with Maidana. Now, I think that's a bit of a stretch, especially when he kind of came back and beat Andre Berto in a tough fight. But I remember going into that Berto fight, everybody had counted him out, kind of because of the way he acted during that Maidana fight.
You want my opinion?
Yes.
Yeah, he is a curve. Let me explain something to you, man. Yeah. When you've hurt a guy, right, several times in a fight, and he hurts you, you know there's a chance you can knock him out.
Yeah.
It's a little easier to keep fighting. Whereas if you never hurt the guy, right, and you're on Queer Street, you getting knocked around silly, or you're afraid to get knocked out. That's when that shows out. But with Andre Berto, he had Berto wobbling and on drunk legs a couple times. Remember?
Yeah.
And that knockdown drag out fight. So I wouldn't give Ortiz a pass on saying that like he disproved it in that fight. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would just say that he seen light at the end of the tunnel. Even when getting hurt, he got up and seen light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's a little easier to do. I don't know. Maybe like you said, maybe coward is a strong word, but let's just say I'll go with this. He definitely has a watermark that he won't go past.
Right.
It ain't worth it.
Right.
It ain't worth it to him. He has no problem with quitting.
Right.
None.
Coach, I gotta say, and now that we're on the topic, I wanted to ask you. At one point, I thought Ortiz was going to be something special. At one point,
I think a lot of people did.
At one point, I thought this kid was going to be something real special, and that Maidana fight kind of, ended that. Did you ever see him as potentially having the ability to be something very, very special?
Okay. I understood that that's what they were selling. Okay. Yeah. And I understood that De La Hoya and them was putting their chips on it. What I did see early on was I didn't see the ability that they thought he had. I didn't see that. I seen no. I seen glaring flaws that elite fighters was going to be able to expose.
Yeah.
But until he quit, I didn't know he was a quitter, but it doesn't have nothing to do with quitting. You got to remember, man, my boxing is based on character and drive. And the thing about it is ability counts the least, because I'll teach you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll train you how to do that. So, but I need some character and somebody driven to be successful. And I remember hearing the scuttlebutt about that kid. Something happened, some character shit with some people who was backing him. I think it was Robert Garcia's family was backing him, and he did some shit at their house and had to kick him out and shit. I don't remember exactly what it was. Hell, it's been years now.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing that. I said, And then I started hearing the stories about how he was taking care of his family. His daddy used to beat on him. And I said, it sounds good. But a guy like that wouldn't do. I want to say he did some dirty business shit. Like some people had him come to California from Kansas, and they was feeding him, taking care of him, and he split on them, without breaking bread with him. So I want to say that's what it was. I can't remember. So I have. It was the conundrum with Wilder. It didn't make sense.
Right.
I have a equation that's 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10.
10 times out of 11. Yep.
Yeah, that 10th time, I'll be damned if he ain't make a lie out of me, man.
Yeah.
But But yeah, I seen they was pushing him. He was a strong, good looking kid. But was I completely surprised when they went off the rails?
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
not really.
yeah. I also was kind of weirded out, and this is totally off topic, when they interviewed him after a fight one day, and he said he was gonna go get Taco Bell. I think, I don't know. I just felt like
What?
they interviewed him after a fight, and of all the things he could have chosen to eat, I mean, just think about all the mom and pop Mexican, restaurants. This man,
Man, ain't no Mexican admits eating a Taco Bell, bro. Even if they do, they can be the most American Mexican. They ain't gonna tell
I
nobody.
know, I know. This man said he was going to Taco Bell. I said, no, you can't say that, dude. But
That's rough,
but
man.
anyway, but yeah, we're kind of back to the point at hand. Joseph Parker advances.
Yeah.
They're talking about now. This is, I'm definitely gonna want to hear your opinion on this. They're talking about maybe him and Slowpoke. What are your favorite guys?
Oh,
Slowpoke, Joe Joyce. What do you think about that?
annihilation,
Damn.
annihilation. I'm telling y'all, man. Listen, Joseph Parker ain't skilled enough. He don't have the boxing understanding. Slowpoke got all the boxing understanding. He's just and he's got all the athleticism. He's just in slow
Yeah,
motion,
yeah, yeah,
which will end bad for him, probably with a Tyson Fury.
yeah.
But nah, Joe he breaks down Joseph Parker, bro. Think about how he broke down that young Dubois
Yeah.
kid, that big strong kid that England was banking everything on. Uh, he broke that kid down with a slow, steady jab right to the mouth and the nose and the eye. And every time he tried to start some shit, Slowpoke would just jab him in the chest, bring it. Man, I knew that was gonna happen, bro.
Oh man.
But I was in the minority again. Nobody
Hey,
believed
I
me.
was.
They thought
Let me tell you, I was with you
they
on
thought
that
the
one. I was with you on that one. I actually said, you guys can go back and look. I said it's going to be a controversial win for Dubois. I thought that Joe Joyce.
I
Yeah.
remember you said that Joe Joyce was gonna win and they
Right.
gonna rob him.
That's
I
what
remember
I
that.
thought. That's what I
I
thought.
remember.
That's what I
Yep.
thought.
Which make all the sense in the world because even though Slowpoke's the silver medalist, they that young Dubois was the it guy.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like they were.
They just knew he was gonna come in and knock him
Yeah, I
out.
felt like they were treating Dubois like he was the next Anthony Joshua or something. They were trying to really bank off him.
And he never displayed that kind of confidence to me when he talks. He never even displayed that. To me, it was like they was telling him that, and he was like, okay. But I didn't never believe that. I don't never believe he believed it about himself.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Just body language, reading his body
Yeah, yeah, and
language.
I felt like he was too young too for a guy like Joyce, man. I'm with you, Coach,
Yeah,
on
man.
Joe Joyce, and I get the slow thing, but I mean I don't think he's that slow. I think people exaggerate.
Oh, his timing, he makes up for it with
Yeah,
timing
yeah,
though. Yeah, he times guys. It's perfect. So it's almost that slower lull you to sleep
yeah,
too.
yeah.
You think he can't hit you, but he'll throw that punch at the right time, and that'll make a
And he's
difference.
strong as shit. I mean,
You seen that highlight? Did you see that highlight of him, dude?
which one?
It's so crazy, man. When he runs in the ring and jumps and does some kind of twirl, it's almost like a kung fu movie
Oh
or
yeah, the
something,
guy,
man. You ever
the
seen
guy
that?
can do a backflip. The guy's a monster. The guy's a monster.
Bruh, that's bananas, dude. And he's what, 6'6",
He's
6'7"?
huge. Yeah.
Man,
That's
man, that dude there, bro. I love that guy. I'm so happy for my young fella, my young heavyweight Darius Fulgham out. He gets this. I think he said he sparred Joe Joyce.
yeah.
Yeah. So man, I'm so happy. I said, man, listen to that dude. That dude knows what he's talking about. Just from watching him, I know he knows what he's talking about.
Hell yeah, man!
I'm a
That guy
fan,
can
bro.
fight, man. And he ended that fight with a jab, and he broke this guy's orbital bone with jabs. I mean, this guy's he's something else. And you're right. It's going to take like a Tyson Fury or somebody next level to beat that guy, and he can beat all those guys. He's still gonna be a live dog.
And he can still mess around and
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. He's a bad boy, man. He's a bad boy.
Yeah. So Joseph Parker, but
I know a lot of people don't see it. I know a lot of people don't see that, G. They think we crazy, bro. I know a lot of people don't believe he can fight. Man, that dude can fight, bro. That dude can really fight.
listen, big shout out, coach. Big shout out to my boys. Another coach I really, really love and have a lot of respect for, Coach Rage out of Black House, Coach D. And Coach Rage, he's an MMA, he's a striking coach, but he takes his guys to the boxing gym to sharpen their boxing, you know. And he's worked with, Chisora, taking his guys over there to get him warmed up when Chisora would come out to California. He's worked with, Joe Hanks, and stuff like that. And I remember, me and Rage are really cool. He puts guys on all my cards, coach. I mean, he's got some really great fighters, kickboxers. And
Nice.
I remember we had a conversation. He said, I think he was helping Joe Hanks train for Joe Joyce, or maybe he was involved with the training camp, bringing the guys over there. So he's a real loyal guy. He was going for Joe Hanks, and I
Right.
saw he said, "Yeah, we're gonna go fight Joe. We're gonna fight Joe Joyce." I told him, "Rage, that's a."
Yeah. Ooh, shit.
Coach, I pulled my collar. I almost pulled my collar. I said, that's a tough fight, man. But good luck for sure. I wish you the best of luck. But that's a tough damn fight, and I think I think Rage saw what we saw about Joe Joyce on that night leading up to that fight. I think he agrees with us. That guy's a monster. But anyway, Coach, yeah, I had to bring that up because, I actually speak to Rage almost on a daily basis.
Sweet.
But Joseph Parker, Coach, Joseph Parker, we do got to give him credit. I mean, that was a really good performance off a guy in Chisora who, barely lost to Usyk.
Comes
Right,
to fight.
who barely lost to Usyk.
Yeah, he comes to fight.
Right, so I mean, maybe he does have ability, maybe he does have ability, it's just
Well, I think, yeah. I don't think the
it's
ability
it's
is
the
where he's
dog,
lacking. I
right?
think he has
Right, the
enough.
gameness.
Yeah. I think he has plenty. Yeah, I think he has plenty of ability. I mean, to be up there with the guys. I mean, he's a top heavyweight. He's a top heavyweight today.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the game, man. I don't see you know, the bite down. I don't see it. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't see it, man.
If he gets into it with a guy
But
that wants it more than him.
inshallah, hope I'm wrong, bro.
Yeah,
Hope I'm
yeah.
wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to win. You know that. I want
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
to win. He seems like a stand-up guy, and I'm an Andy Lee guy. He's Irish and he's crunk. So I'm rooting for him.
Right.
And so I know he's being taught things. I know he's being in there with some of the getting
Yeah.
some of the great leadership.
Coach, I want to say that a part of me feels like it might be, and I could be totally wrong about this, but it might be cultural a little bit. But then that doesn't really work for me either, because I'll say this. There's a guy named Louis Schwenke. He's fought for us before, Coach. And he's an MMA fighter, and he just made his transition to the pros. Big shout out to him. He's undefeated. Undefeated as an amateur, undefeated as
Nice.
a pro. And he's originally, so he's Samoan. And big,
Right.
strong, about 6 feet flat, but just this guy's made out of metal. You can't hurt this guy.
Well,
And
I know very little about the Samoan culture, but I do know it's very, very masculine, warrior, almost clannish, like the Irish, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the culturally, they're traditionally tough
Yeah.
guys, you know what I'm saying? So, down to you ever seen them Samoans do when they daughters get married and they do them them I don't know what you call them.
I
You ever
love
see
it.
that? It's like almost like a
I
war
love it.
chant.
Yeah, the haka.
Yeah,
They call it
man.
the haka.
Yeah,
I
man.
love that. I love that.
Okay. So I mean, I when I say culturally, do we know his back? Do we know? Okay, he's a Samoan, but do we know his
See, that's
upbringing?
that's
What's his
that that's what
upbringing
that's
like?
what I don't know. But I guess my point is, so this guy Lou, right? I've sparred with him. I mean, I was
Mm-hmm.
training at the same gym as him for a while, and I would spar him. And I'm a little bit taller than him. He's a heavyweight. I'm a little bit taller than him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about 6'2", 6'3", coach. I would say he's 6'1", or 6 feet flat.
Mm-hmm.
I would spar with him, and I would watch him spar with other people, and he wouldn't get out of first gear, and he's so polite, and he's only hitting you, just enough for you to register the hit, but he's not, he's just a sweetheart. He's not trying to do nothing to hurt anyone in the gym. And and you could hit him as hard as you want, and he would just continue sparring you the same. But when you put,
Hmm.
but where it doesn't work for me is when you put him in a real fight, he would put it in sixth gear, and now there's a guy that's 6 feet, 240, 250 pounds that's moving at 100 miles per hour, and you're saying to yourself, well, where is this in the gym? So it's almost like, and he's definitely nastier than when he's fighting, not in the sparring.
Sound like he may be a true professional
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean, he might need to keep people a little bit more honest in the gym if they teeing off on him, but or maybe with you, or I mean, there's the outside chance that he don't think you're teeing off on him.
Right,
You're not bothering him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's an outside chance of
right.
that, especially if he goes balls to the wall and fights and try to knock you out in the fight. So maybe it's the culture, the gym culture he comes
Maybe,
from.
maybe,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It could be. It could be. I mean, who
Just
knows,
I
man?
could be wrong. I haven't experienced them that much, but the Samoans that I have experienced, have been very nice, very sweet, very hospitable. But then when it comes down to a real fight, you
Yeah.
better be ready to die. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna bring it, and I guess I'm not seeing enough of that from Joseph Parker. I want to see him.
I see none of
Yeah,
it. I see
yeah,
none of it
yeah.
from Parker.
Yeah, well, anyway, Coach, we've discussed that, I think, ad
Yeah.
nauseum. And if you guys have any questions about that, you could drop it in the chat. You can drop it in the links below, or in the comment section below if you're watching this afterwards. But we got to move on to, I think, what got the most attention, which was Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, Coach. Before we do that, though, real quick, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to our sponsors that you see on the bottom of the screen: Fairtex, Citizen Athletes Project, Majid Ali Optimal Wellness, and Channel Lumber. Also, Mariscos El Gordo. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Be sure to give them all a follow on social media. Also, be sure to give Coach D a follow at Soapboxing Podcast, or if you want to speak to him personally, at Collinsworth Boxing Official. You can follow us at FightersRep below, and you can hit me up personally at FightersRep Fez. Be sure to join this channel, subscribe to this channel. FightersRep 12 is coming next month, February 18th, and you can only buy your tickets at FightersRep.com or tune in right here on the YouTube channel by joining the channel. It's just $9.99 a month. Coach, this was, I mean, this could have been life or death for the social media YouTube boxing culture, right? Had Tyron Woodley come out in this fight and laid Jake Paul out, I mean, this might be over. It might be over. Instead, what you thought would happen and what I thought would happen, of course, it happened a lot more dramatically than I thought it would. But what we thought would happen, which is that Jake Paul would win, happened. But it happened in such a way, Coach, to where it's the only thing anyone in the fight world or anywhere near it is talking about. This knockout has millions upon millions upon millions of views on social media. I mean, Did we do the right thing on Saturday night for the culture, Coach, or have we created a Frankenstein monster that we can no longer control?
1,000%. Jake Paul is great for boxing. 1,000%.
I like that. I like that.
Let me tell
I
you
like
something.
that.
Let me tell you something,
Go
man.
for it.
He bought that kid is from Ohio,
Yeah.
right? That fight was in Florida, and they had 16,800 people at that fight.
Man.
Listen. I'm sure there's little white boys all across this country now asking their mama to find them a boxing gym. Bring them somewhere with a boxing gym because Jake Paul's knocking these fighters out. Now, do they know that Jake Paul's not knocking out boxers? Probably not. I would say pop culture fans of fighting probably knows Tyron Woodley more than they know
Jake Paul,
or Tor Benavidez.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Right. So to them, that was a bona fide guy. Because as I told you, they don't know the difference between boxing and they don't know the difference between boxing and MMA no more than the MMA guys who think they're going to go in the boxing ring and win.
Coach, so, he's not just a bona fide guy, though, in that sense, right? I mean, I think he's a bona fide guy when you look at him compared to Jake Paul as far as how much time they've had in the sport in total, right? Of course, Jake Paul has more, but, you know, in fighting. And then
ain't he like a several-time UFC champion?
I think something like a 5-time champ, and then on top of it, like And on top of it, like, it's only Jake Paul's 4th fight as a boxer. So I mean, when you look at some of these other boxers, even the best boxers, who the hell were they fighting in their first 4 fights? You know, so it almost doesn't it further legitimize this win a bit, Coach?
Man, I think Jake Paul is a freaking genius, bro. I mean, he may be winging it, but I don't think so. I think it's purposely they're not fighting boxers, right? Of any renown. But I think he's so great for boxing, bro. I think he's bringing people to boxing that would otherwise never be here. He's and probably a thorn in Dana White's side, but he's getting his Dana White's champions that he's misused over these years, the biggest paydays in their life, you know. And when I say misuse, I mean pay them what they worth compared to their popularity, right? So, and what he done for Amanda Serrano, and I hear Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor might be doing their thing next.
Oh man!
So if he pulls that off with his MVP, listen, man, it's a business, bro. We could sit here and say, you know, is he a real? I've told you this from the beginning. No, he's not. He's not some great boxer. He's not even, dude. There's no way Jake Paul makes it through a Houston Golden Glove tournament, bro.
Yeah.
No way. Now with the boxing we have here, no way. And I've said this a million times. I'll put Quentin in a ring with him at 160 pounds. I'll let him beat Jake Paul to death for $1 million. With a 30-pound disadvantage, with a 30-pound weight disadvantage, we'll beat the shit out that dude. But I would be cheating, much like he's cheating when he's fighting who he's fighting, right? Because I know you can't win. I know you're not gonna have the ability to compete with my guy. But you know that.
But Coach, what about when he was originally slated to fight Tommy Fury?
Man, I didn't understand that one. Only for this. Sure, Tommy Fury has no amateur background to speak of that I know of. But he's still from a fighting family. He's still from them gypsies, bro. He had to been boxing since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? He had to be. and you can accidentally learn something from your big brother, who's probably the baddest motherfucker in
Right.
gloves. So I that made no sense to me, right? So I didn't get it. I really didn't. Maybe Jake Paul seen something in Tommy that he thought he'd get exposed, which would be crazy to me. But I hope he never fights a boxer, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope he beats up all the ex MMA world champions and gives them the most money they ever made in their life. And he keeps giving these boxers great paydays and great exposure. Because like I just said, he had damn near 20,000 people in a stadium where he's not even from.
And
bro.
how many pay-per-views? I mean, who the heck knows?
And how many people? And dude, you know who does that? You know who does that in boxing? Let's go one step further. Let's go one step further and piss off all the real boxing people. All right? Because you know I don't give a shit. Let's go one step further. You know who sells out stadiums like that?
Canelo?
Canelo and Anthony Joshua.
Yep.
You know who
Tank
else?
Davis, maybe?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Hey, keep on doing it, you crazy son. I ain't never watched the Jake Paul YouTube video in my life and don't care to. But as long as he's in boxing, I don't gotta pay attention to what he says. Nothing he's saying makes any sense to me anyway, boxing wise, and it doesn't really matter. I don't care. I'm a boxing guy. I want fighters to get opportunities. I want women's boxing to get put on a Listen, if he pulls off this Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor fight, bro, that's probably going to be the biggest fight
gonna happen.
in women's boxing.
It's going to happen because I think him and Eddie Hearn, Fast Car Eddie, I think they've got a good relationship because it was Eddie Hearn, I think, that first kind of put him on
a DAZN card when he knocked out the ball player.
Right.
He knocked out that basketball player. Now watch this. You think Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor ain't gonna do numbers, and it's just gonna facilitate Clarissa and Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
Boom, right behind them. Yeah. Boom, right behind them.
And
I love what this kid's doing for boxing, bro. I really
and they're
do.
not just gonna want to watch that and him again, whoever he's fighting against, and all his shenanigans. They're gonna want to watch the continuation of the Tyron Woodley storyline now, because they're going to want to know what happens to Tyron. And it looks like this guy, Le'Veon Bell, I think it's some ball player or something, is calling out Jake Paul.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. I seen the call out, but what does he do? We got to
look it up, but apparently he's a running back. But apparently...
Okay.
Yeah, he's a running back.
So he can't fight either. He's a football player.
Right.
Jake Paul probably get him too.
Right. So what he's saying is I'll let my little homie handle you and Tyron Woodley, and he's gonna get Tyron Woodley probably another fat payday against this guy, and we're gonna get to see, was that knockout of Tyron Woodley the end of him, or does he continue to earn the most money he's ever earned in his career, and.
You know what I like to see him do? I'd like to see Jake Paul pull a Oscar, hire Tyron Woodley to be some kind of position at MVP promotion, and let Tyron Woodley go line up all the ex-MMA champions
like B-Hop
to get
like
their
B-Hop.
Yeah, man. Why not, dude? They deserve it, bro. Tyron Woodley don't deserve $1 million for these fights, bro.
Yeah, no, he deserves it.
You just told me he was a 5-time UFC champion,
he was
bro.
A killer.
You just told me that.
Killer. And Coach, I'll be honest with you. I mean,
and he's a fighting man. Say what you want.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, he got knocked out, and my goodness, that was a devastating. I mean, that was a vicious,
fighter. Knockout of the year to me is out of that one, and probably Fury Wilder. Fury Wilder, probably Rosado in the Uzbek, remember?
Man.
The Uzbek bully?
Yeah, that was nasty.
And Jake Paul, bro. Jake Paul. I'm putting him up there. That was a nasty knockout, bro.
Man.
That dude hit face first. Bro, are you hearing this? These fucking morons with this is they threw the fight.
Wow,
What?
man. Wow.
Are you not seeing any
I
of this?
I am, but you know what, coach?
You tuned it out.
feed the trolls, brother. I don't feed the trolls. I mean,
Dude,
if you think that was
it's
if you think
huge.
that was rigged, you're a fucking idiot. You're just a fucking idiot. I
I
can't
said,
help you.
you know what I said? You know what I said? I said, if you're gonna throw a fight, you don't get knocked out like that. You fucking fall down in the first round when he
Right.
hits you. That's how you throw
Right.
fights. You don't try to win a fight for 6 rounds and get knocked.
You do what Malik Scott did. You don't do that.
Yeah, that's how you throw a fight. That's how you throw a fight. You don't get hit and go
Right.
down and act like you can't
Right.
get up. That's how you do that.
This guy
Malik Scott's the perfect fight throwing example for everybody.
this guy got absolutely blasted out of it. I mean, that was
Man.
all I saw was spit and sweat flying all over the place, and the guy went face first into the. And you know, coach, what makes it?
It was ugly, but it was dangerous. When you fall forward like that, it's normally not good either.
He went head first into the floor, which was bad. And what made me definitely confirm that it's not rigged is how it was set up. I mean, just the way it was set up. He set him up. You know, he set him up.
Yeah.
You know, you saw the way he was reacting, Woodley, to, you know, the straight punches. He reacted like it was going to go to the body, and he got fooled. It was easy.
He don't know his
Right.
distance. He thought he was safe,
Right.
and he dropped his hand.
Right, and he got.
It's just that easy. Is that, I mean, dude, are they confused about that punch landing?
I don't know.
I mean, what are you confused about, man? There's no reason to be confused, man. But again, when you bring that kind of popularity to your fights, you bring that bigger audience. You know, are we shocked that the neophytes who think Jake Paul's whooping fighters?
Yeah.
we shocked that some of them thinks it's a fake
And
fight.
it's not just neophytes, coach. It's the persona that he puts on to make people hate him so dang much. It's just like what Floyd did. You know, people were coming out of the woodworks to watch Floyd fight because they just wanted him to lose. They want this kid to lose. They want someone to shut this kid's damn mouth, and you know, it's just not happening, and it's driving them crazy. And now it's blown up in their face. So what do they say? You know, they cry foul. They got to cry foul. Their guy.
Oh yeah. No one can be wrong, right? Something. You know,
especially in this present culture,
Yeah.
coach. Come on, this present society we're living in. People don't even have the spine to accept defeat or that they were wrong, man. Forget about it, man.
Bro, our Ethiopian Egyptian king couldn't have lost to this big fat gypsy. There's no way. He had to be, you know, gloves had to be loaded.
Oh my god.
Man, that's sad, bro. This is where we live, man. This is where we live. And T.O. and them let me down. You know what I'm saying? And now you got, bro, it's a lot of MMA. I ain't gonna say MMA guys or insiders, but the MMA fans, right? They just cannot. They will not believe me when I say, and not just me, everybody that knows better. They will not. They refuse to listen when you tell them it's two different sports, bro. It's completely two different things, bro. They can't differentiate.
I don't know.
They think because these MMA boys throw punches, bro, that they boxing. They really
I
believe.
don't know how you can watch both sports and call yourself like a real any sort of even if you're not a hardcore fan, even if you're just intermediate. I don't know how you can watch both sports and say that they're not completely. I mean, they're completely different.
Watch this, bro. Watch this. Is Michael Jordan going to out quarterback Tom Brady?
Hell no, never.
What you mean? They both got balls. It's both balls,
right? And you're
right?
throwing them, and you're throwing them.
and you're throwing him. Yeah. What you mean? Of course he will. He's the greatest.
Right.
That's what sense they make because they're both fighting. It's just two different things though. It's
Right.
football and basketball.
You know what I think is an even better comparison, Coach? Because
Go ahead, bro.
and I say this because boxing is an element of MMA, but it's just one of them. It's just one of them.
Yes.
For me, it's like a dude who's doing the decathlon. Let's say Bruce Jenner back in the 70s or whatever, or it's Caitlyn now, but you know what I mean, whatever it is. Whoever the heck it is doing a decathlon steps on to the track to race Usain Bolt in the 100-meter dash. You're going to be out of those 10 out of those seven or eight dudes lining up, what place are you going to end up in, big dog? What place do you think you're going to end up in because you do the decathlon?
Now watch this. That's what we see with Jake Paul and Woodley, right? Now put Usain Bolt, as great as he is in track, put him in a decathlon. Sure, he's gonna run the track part.
But that's it.
But that's it. That's it though. And that's what you get if you put Jake Paul in that cage with Woodley, right? It's the decathlete of fighting over there.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So one is very sports specific and one is a free fall. It's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. And the decathletes was what was five events, right? Is it 5?
No, I think it's 10, right? Decathlete, I think it's 10, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I was freestyling. Shot put, the high jump.
Something like that, running, long jump.
Yeah, it's probably 10.
Pole vault.
And listen, bro, that's my age group. Bruce Jenner's gonna always be Bruce Jenner to me. I'ma just say Bruce Jenner's dead, bro, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings either with my caveman shit. But Bruce Jenner, bro, was big stuff when I was a kid, bro. Yeah. That was This is almost it. There's people if my daddy, bro, if my daddy didn't die in 2005, my daddy came alive today, and I said, "Pop, check this out. You remember Bruce Jenner?" He said, "Yeah, this is him." What kind of space? What kind of planet am I living on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, all power to him. I don't want nobody to live how you want to live because I don't want nobody telling me how to live. But yeah, man, that Bruce Jenner, man, people don't understand, man. Bruce Jenner was so popular. He was on the Love Boat and Chips and Wheaties boxes.
That's right.
Man, that dude was on everything, bro.
But you're not beating the worst guy in that 100-meter dash. You're not beating the worst guy in that 100-meter dash. You're not.
Right.
And,
at all. That's the perfect thing. I like how you said that. Now you gave me something because that's gonna be my example.
I appreciate it. Another one I thought of, Coach. Now that we're at these comparative examples, is ping pong versus tennis. Hey, you're swinging that racket.
Boom.
You're swinging that racket. You're hitting the ball. Same thing, but
it's a racket.
You step on that.
You got a net.
Yeah,
it's
but you step on that court. You step on that court with Serena Williams or Roger Federer, and it's gonna be over for you real quick.
And she's gonna take your manhood. Right. 100%.
So Coach, man, that I want you to walk. Go ahead.
I'm all for Jake Paul, bro. I'm all for him, dude. Listen, I think he's great for boxing. The business of boxing. I think he's great for it.
I want you to walk me through that knockout, though. What you remember of that knockout. For me, I thought he kind of explained it after the fight clearly. He was setting him up the entire fight for it. He saw him catching the shots. For me, I don't know if it's catching, parrying, whatever you want to call it, but I kind of saw that too. Every time, instead of dodging, he was trying to catch the shot by lowering his hand, almost like trying to deflect it out the way. And that's right.
Which is a skill that you're not going to pick up in a year of boxing. Even if you have a aptitude for it and can do it a little bit, right? You're going to misjudge it. You're going to reach. You're going to not do it at the right time sooner or later. And Jake Paul has been boxing now for what, 4-5 years, maybe 3-4 years, something like that. So it's not outside of his wheelhouse that his trainer's telling him, that strange little, I guess, would you call it like a right hook, overhand hook or something? It's not out of his wheelhouse that the coach told him that's what you need to look for when he drops his hand. So that could have, I don't know at what part, he decided that's what he was going to. I know he said all night or whatever, but and
it was almost,
he may have said,
Coach. I saw it in the replay. It was almost the punch immediately before it. The guy was reacting the same way. Woodley was reacting the same way.
Well, it looked like to me, because Jake Paul ain't a great. He's not a great. He's front-footed. He's not a great example of distance and range himself, right? But he understands. He's a hot stepper. He steps on every punch. So he stepped in, didn't throw it. He reacted.
Yeah.
And jumped back. So let me jump back in and throw it this time. Right. That could have easily been planned. Easily. And spurred a moment. If he worked on that in the gymnasium on that particular shot, because Woodley has a penance for dropping his hands or something, we're gonna catch him with this one. We're gonna catch him with this shot. So whenever it presents itself, so yeah, I mean that easily could have been what happened. He could have easily been doing that on purpose. That's not no it wasn't a lucky punch. He threw it on purpose. He was trying to hit him with that shot. And I know I seen the slow-mo from Woodley's face angle, and he kind of clinched right before it hit him, like he knew.
Yeah.
And he just went out, lights out, man.
Man, it wasn't lights out. Again, face planting into the ring, body looking. I mean, he looked dead. He looked dead on the floor. Luckily, he was able to get back up, but I'm not sure if you saw this. When he got to his knees, he almost fell back when he was on his knees. I mean, that was a very heavy knockout.
No, I didn't see I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't even see when he was trying to get up. I seen the ref holding him down. Because a lot of time when you're getting your wits about yourself, he'll make some herky-jerky moves. I've hit guys and they went out and all of a sudden their last mind must have been, let me kick this dude. And they wake up on the ground, their foot starts kicking like they're trying to get me off of them, but I done knocked them out already.
Oh my God.
So it's when you basically, when you're knocking out, that brain bounces off your skull. Right. And so your brain's doing like a computer saying, shut down. Let's run a diagnosis, see what's going on, and then start patching back the connections, right? So sometimes guys feel like, sometimes that thought process gets cut right in half. And then when you come back up, or even sometimes I've seen them go out and their motor skills are still working, right? The hands and all that stuff still punching and everything, and they completely unconscious.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing.
Well, Coach, that was a very heavy knockout. That was crazy for the sport. A couple more things I just want to touch on with you real quick. I mean, we'll leave these at the end. And thanks to Eduardo Dufau, who's watching, who kind of reminded me of this. Zurdo versus Yunieski and Beterbiev. Beterbiev versus Brown. Give me your thoughts on those two fights, Coach.
Oh man, I'm a huge Beterbiev fan. Brown could fight. Bro.
Yeah,
Brown could fight, and but Beterbiev is so educated, bro. This is another guy I don't. He gets so much credit for beating people up and being, a killer.
Yeah.
Much like, in a different way, but much like David Benavidez. But of course, he's a cop. I would say he's beat some better guys than David, of course. But he has that reputation. And sometimes I think his boxing's being overlooked, bro.
Right.
He's an educated fighter, dude. And he makes few flawed, man. it was almost listening to the zone commentary, man, listening to those guys. I can't even remember who it was, and I can't say that I even recognize the commentary, but listening to him saying, man, if it better be would throw the jab, be more active. I'm like, he's fighting a southpaw. That's what he shouldn't do.
Right.
He knows exactly what he's doing. And I'm like, man, y'all don't see what he's doing at all, man. And the thing is, could he have been more active? Sure, but not with that tactic, you know. But you know, I think Brown came to fight. I think he can fight. I think you know, the elbow. I think a little bit. He was trying to do everything to win that fight, bro. He got a little rough. He was trying to get our boy off him, man. And he's hard to beat, bro. He's hard to beat, man. And I think I said on the show last week, Brown's gonna get beat up, man. And he did. He got beat up, man. Yeah. But my hat's off to Brown. I'm not crapping on the kid. The kid put on a gallant effort and did everything he could do, you know. Beterbiev, I don't think people's off the mark when they're saying he may be sliding a little bit. He may be. I mean, he's got a zillion amateur fights, and we know them Eastern Europeans, you know, they do so much so quickly because they're so experienced. But maybe he's just losing a half a step, maybe of quickness. But bruh, he's still, man, ain't nobody coming beat that dude up right now.
What if Canelo were to fight him? Because that's what they're talking about now, Coach. That's what they're talking about. Canelo wants that, Coach. You know.
Listen, do I think my guy would get in there with Beterbiev 7 days a week and twice on Sunday?
Right.
Man, I would love to see that fight. One good thing is I think they had him 6 foot on this one, but I think he's really like 5'11". I think he's about the same height as Triple G, maybe.
Yeah.
But or damn near close to it. So, and you and I know a height advantage ain't a height advantage against Canelo unless you use it. And Beterbiev uses it, but he's only 6 foot, you know.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
Wow,
man,
wow,
that's a scary fight. That's a scary fight for me.
That's a fight, Coach, where everybody's got to get the hell out the living room. I'm watching the fight. You guys got to be quiet. I'm watching the damn fight.
Oh.
Go find something to do.
And if the grand champ beats Artur Beterbiev, I'm sure in history it won't be as mean as much like it will to you and I, right? Because they'll say, oh, he was a unified champion. He only had, 17 fights or whatever. No, man, this dude is a killer, man. This dude is what Kovalev was at his peak, you know?
Yeah.
So, it may be a little rougher.
I think a little rougher. I'll be honest. I think a little better even.
Yeah, Kovalev was a Terminator, though. You remember that?
He was really,
man.
He was really good. You know, Kovalev in his prime was something else.
And he beat Ward, bro.
That first fight, he did beat him, yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Beterbiev, man. I'm scared to death if they fight because it's one of those fights I don't know what's gonna happen. Man, it'd be hard for me to not know somebody's getting knocked out.
Who do you even want to win? Like, is there someone you want to win in that fight, or do you just want to watch that fight? You know, you wouldn't be able to take sides.
I think I wouldn't be able to pick. That's for sure. Yeah. But man, I think Canelo's so special, bro. Like he's doing such great things, and that he's overachieving. Like when I watch Beterbiev, right? Do you think he's overachieving, or do you say no? He's doing what he does, right?
Yeah.
Like even with Benavidez, even though he's on the come up, and you know he's still got to make his mark in the world, right? But when he gets in there and beats these guys up, you just like, that's what he does, right? Yeah. Canelo is knocking dudes out, bro. That's 6'4", bro. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are
Kovalev.
Light
You
heavies,
mentioned Kovalev.
super middleweight. Yeah, bro. He's not. And you know, say what you want. Kovalev just had beat that young British kid, bro, who was a
Anthony
heavyweight champ,
Yard,
light
yeah.
heavyweight champ
Anthony
over there.
Yard, yeah.
Yeah, he just knocked him out, man. Even that version of Kovalev knocked him
Yeah.
out. So it's like y'all don't want to give this young dude a credit, bro. Canelo so far past the greatest Mexican of all time. Shit, like to me, I think he's one of the greatest fighters ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll let the Mexicans decide, and I'm sure nostalgia will have them rooting for Julio Cesar Chavez, right? But the truth though, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's comparable, bro. It's not even comparable, bro. Their career and the achievements that Canelo has made already, man. Already, and he's 30 years old. It's not even comparable, bro. So they can argue that and keep it to themselves. But Canelo has done surpassed all that, bro. He's entering that top something pound for pound ever.
Yeah.
Now where? I don't know. And we probably should wait till it's over with and put him in his proper spot.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because I believe it is, the weights he's playing with, it's gonna go downhill fast when it goes downhill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I'm probably gonna lean towards Canelo just because I think he's building such a legacy, bro. But man, I can't pick that fight. Man. I can't pick it at all.
Yeah, man. That's terrifying that's even a fight that could happen. And I would, as hardcore fans, man, I'd pay whatever you want to watch that. Coach, we got to go to that fight, man. We got to physically be there. I want to be there.
I'm down.
I want to be there, man.
I'm down.
I would love to go. We could go wherever the heck it's going to be. That would be a good time. And Eduardo Dufal also mentioned Zurdo versus Unieski. Zurdo's a beast, man.
Man, you was just bragging so much on Zurdo, man. And he had I would say a flat performance. And even with that, bro, he's a true fighter, man. Zurdo got hurt early, bro. In round 1, he got hurt. He was hurt. And his first mind was, I gotta hit this son with a gun back. Gonzalez was probably a dead man walking, really, but just willing the whole time, willing to try to knock Zurdo out, right? And gallant effort, man. That kid could have quit in the corner and nobody would have said nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. Right. Nah, man, you kept going forward. But Zurdo, I think, was a little flat. But it was just an off night, bro.
Yeah.
I think it was just an off night. And that's not good because he hasn't really showed anybody what you and I think we see with him, right?
Yeah.
But I think him and Bivol, they're gonna prove each other what they really are.
They need to make that fight. They need to make that fight.
Bivol's either gonna be what people thought he was, or Zurdo was gonna be what people thought he was in that fight.
I think if it's I think Bivol can outbox him, but I think Zurdo can knock Bivol out. That's the way I see it. I feel like Zurdo's a lot more heavy-handed. I feel like I don't even know if Bivol can keep him off with the way he's been looking.
That's my thinking. Does Bivol hit him with anything that's going to deter him?
Yeah.
Because Gonzalez had knockouts, right? He was a knockout
he's a strong guy, and I think he knew his chance was to get him out early. I think he went for it.
And he cracked him several times and hurt him. And it never did. It didn't deter Zurdo. Zurdo kept coming. Man, he's hard not to like.
No, I like him, man. I like him.
Yeah, man, he's a great guy, man. I like him, man. I'm gonna be rooting for him against Bivol, and I think he could beat Bivol. I like you, Bivol might could outbox him maybe, but what happens when Zurdo throws caution to the wind and goes forward and starts bullying?
Right, right.
I would like to see Zurdo. I would like to see Zurdo use his height and his length because he doesn't. But that's what I thought we could expose when my guy fought him. Unfortunately, we didn't.
Yeah.
But
Coach, you still there? On hold. Sorry, guys. Coach, you there? Okay, you're back. Lost you for a second.
yeah, man. I put my phone on disturb somebody's calling.
So
But it's all
yeah,
not
no, you're
disturb.
good. So you were saying about Surdo.
I seen the same flaws that I thought my guy could expose when they fought, but unfortunately it didn't go that way. But I still see the same thing, and kind of I don't see how Bival's gonna expose it though, right? The style of fighting he does, I think a guy like Better Biev will, and it probably was no accident he fought a left-handed fighter either. But I think I clearly Better Biev. I lean towards Better Biev, but I'm sure Zerto will die on the sword.
Yeah, you know all this.
I would like to see a Zerto Joe Smith, bro. Oh, they fought. I want to see him fight again.
Well, Joe Smith. I know Joe Smith fought Bivol.
No.
Yeah, he fought
Bivol.
Yeah.
I want to see Joe Smith fight Zerto.
That would be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. I actually don't like Smith in that fight, even though Smith is a tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's all going to depend on how Smith fights. I thought he looked like shit in his last fight, Coach. To be honest with you, but there have been fights where I said to myself, "My goodness, if that guy hits you." I mean, he's built like a pterodactyl. His arms are so damn long.
Never forget what he did, X-Man.
Oh man, you mean when he fought B-Hop? Oh, they're calling you again. It looks like, Coach. Anyway, while Coach puts whoever's calling him on hold. I just want to say, man, thank you guys for joining us. It's been a good time. Yeah, Coach. Can you hear me?
Hello?
They're calling you again?
Yeah, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my son, man. I don't know. I didn't get it because I had the damn phone on whatever I had it on. But
yeah, your picture. There we go. We're better now.
Hey, my bad, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, I'd like to see that fight. I think Zerto's still a live dog in all the fights, like you said prior to this. When I think this performance was just a little flat, but he's a live dog with Better Biev. You just got to see how it shakes out.
Oh yeah. And Alexander Espinosa's in here saying Zerto's a good Mexican fighter. He looked suspect in his last fight on Saturday, but nonetheless, room for improvement, and definitely has the mentality of a champion. He needs to use his length. He needs to use his length. He's a really tall guy. He doesn't. Yeah, he's
just if he uses it. See, he fights small, so everybody wants him to use his length.
Yeah.
But if he would fight tall, he wouldn't have to worry about nothing. Right. He would be there already. But if you're gonna fight small, you definitely gotta use your length. You can't give it away.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm a fan, dude, and yeah, man. Great fights, man. And I gotta say publicly, man, my girl, Marlene, man, she defended her title in a unanimous decision. I texted her today. I meant to do it that night, but I figured she was celebrating. But I texted her today. I said, man, that's in your pro career, that's the best you've looked. You dominated that fight.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So. And Sinisa came out there and knocked her girl silly. So all that's going to do is make that fight even more, okay, Marlene's looking good. Sinisa done knock somebody out now.
It's marinating. It's marinating nicely, Coach.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see it. That's Sinisa, boy. She's a bad gal, man. She's super bad. Like her name. She's super bad, bro.
I love it. And Coach, before we sign off, we got to give our prediction. There's not much going on this weekend that I can see on the schedule. However, you brought up Joe Smith. He's fighting on the 15th. He's fighting Callum Johnson. That's pretty interesting. But what's happening on Saturday? We've got Joey Milnicki versus Nicholas Delamba, and we got Joey Spencer, and that's going to be on Fox versus Limberth Ponce. I don't know too much about these guys. I just feel like Milnicki and Spencer are the A side, so they'll probably win. And then we've got Murat Gassiev, a guy who I really like, Coach, versus Andrei Rudenko, and that's going down in Russia on Christmas Day as well. Your thoughts, Coach? Your thoughts? Murat Gassiev and these other kids, Spencer Milnicki.
I think Spencer is very limited, and he's being built by PBC. I think Milnicki is very limited, maybe a fraction better than the Spence kid, even though he lost already. But neither one of them boys is both of them's gonna have problems at the elite level. Shout out to my man Noe Skinny Lopez. I think's on that undercard too in New York.
Nice.
Fighting guy here in Houston, man. I think he's about 10-2, maybe 10-3, something like that. But very good friend of mine. But yeah, like you said, they the A side, they the guys that PBC's building. So, and they should build them. They should build these kids and get them up there and try to give them a shot. I don't know too much about the Russian fight you was talking about, but my Christmas fight, let me throw this in there. My Christmas fight is my man, friend of mine too, as well, out of Chicago. Kenny Sims Jr. is fighting Christmas Day. It's gonna be his first fights, and it's on Fox. It's a PBC
Very
card,
nice,
I believe.
Very nice.
It's his first fight since whooping Elvis Rodriguez and making him lose his top rank deal.
Wow, man.
You know, he went to PBC now, Elvis, and I think he won his fight since he been with PBC. He had won a fight. But this kid, Kenny Sims, man, let me tell you something, bro. I predicted Kenny to upset Elvis just because I'm in the gym with him down here in Houston. Him and Q Spar. That whole crew over there. Yeah, that whole crew over there. Shakur Stevenson, Troy Isley, Duke Reagan. I believe. Who I'm thinking? The other silver medalist. He went to. He left now. He went and joined Bud and them's camp. I think Bo Mac's gonna be his head trainer now, but he used to be there. Keyshawn Davis.
Okay.
But
he looked real good in his last fight.
Jared Anderson's in that gym. F.A. is in that gym, man. And let me tell you, Jared Hurd in that gym. Yeah, bro. But Kenny Sims, bro, is a special kid. He's got two little sidetrack. He got a draw and a loss that they tell me he didn't lose. Special kid, bro. I see him, I'm seeing him and I'm telling people. And I remember when they said Elvis, because Elvis was the knockout artist, and I told everybody, the shit I see this kid doing in the gym, there's no way a limited guy like Elvis Rodriguez is fitting to whoop Kenny Sims. But you know how these fly, fair weather fans and not only that, even us guys in the know, we learn to trust certain promoters' process, right? So when they building these prospects, you take, for example, they bringing them along, right, and will not overmatch them, right? So, but sometimes a guy sneaks through. I told Lil D'Angelo when he lost that NABF title to Everson. I said, bro, so now you just go around the other side. You got to figure your other way. I said, now you might make a little coin to disrupt somebody's career, right? Because they're going to think you can get beat. They'll be your prospect. You just got to be in the gym and be ready. So, Kenny Sims, Christmas Day, bro. Don't miss it. If you're going to watch some boxing.
Oh, yeah. You know I'm going. I'm definitely going to.
He's special, man. He's special, bro. And we finally got our date, man. January 22nd in Detroit.
Nice.
On Salida
Promotions.
Clarissa's promoter. Yeah, Salida show, and then we got a February date in either here in Austin or Mexico. I think the Mexico card is a UFC Fight Pass card, but that's down the road. We got to get past this January 22nd show first.
Let's go. Can't wait to watch that, man. I cannot wait to watch that. Before I let you go, though, Coach, Murat Gassiev, the fight going on in Russia, is a guy I'm pretty excited about because he's the one that lost a unanimous decision to Usyk at the World Boxing Super Series when they
it's a big boy. It's a big boy.
He's another one of these Caucasus Russian
Eastern European.
yeah. He kind of reminds me a lot of Beterbiev, but he's bigger.
He's one of the Muslim white boys out of the mountains.
Yeah.
Them boys are bad, bro. Them boys is bad, man. That's a different breed of man right there.
It
bro.
is.
Them Kazakhs and stuff.
It is.
Yeah,
And I like to think that I take pride in those guys, Coach. My family's from the Middle East, and not too different.
Right, absolutely.
Not too different from those guys. So I really like Murat Gassiev, and he was training with Triple G. And he TKO'd Uniel Dorticos. I don't know if you remember that fight as well, the World Boxing Super Series.
I'm gonna have to brush up on this kid, especially if you like him. I'm gonna have to make sure I know.
The only guy that beat him in a pretty good fight was Usyk. So he's now moved to heavyweight. I can see him making some noise at heavyweight for sure. He might be a little small, but he's definitely a fighting man. He's definitely a fighting man.
Oh, that's all we need, man. That's all we need, bro.
But guys, thank you so much for joining me and Coach D. Man, we've been on here over an hour, Coach. I appreciate your time. And, we do this every Monday at 6:30. You get it from me. You get it from Coach D, who is an absolute expert in the field of boxing. I like to pretend I'm an expert in the field of kickboxing, promoting. I'll leave it at that. You were going to say something, Coach.
Eduardo, he said Sinisa. He said, wow, do you think she's top 3 or 5 pound for pound? Shit, yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Clarissa, you got to put Katie Taylor. You got to put Amanda Serrano. And, man, Sinisa Estrada, bro. Sinisa Estrada, who you put after her? Maybe, I guess you got to put the Chicago girl since she's undisputed welterweight champion, Jessica McCaskill. So, yeah, man. And then you got Maya cleaning up. Right. You got this new girl who just, man, I forgot about that knockout, bro. When she knocked out that English girl standing up.
Yeah.
Our American who trains with Tony the Tiger in Detroit, man. Oh man, why am my brain fucked?
I know.
Bumgarner.
Yeah.
Bumgarner.
Man, women's boxing is picking up, man. Women's boxing is picking up for sure.
Yeah, Marlene Esparza right here in our neck of the woods is a WBC champion. We got the WBC silver heavyweight champion here in Houston, right? With Danielle Chambers or Danielle Perkins. Man, women's boxing. If you're not watching women's boxing, bro, you're missing some great boxing. Yeah. You're missing some great boxing, man. Yeah, she definitely Sinisa's top 5 for me. Pick 4 or 5, either one of them.
I love it. Well, Coach, thank you so much again for your time. That was wildly entertaining. Guys, tune in every Monday at 6:30 with me and Coach D, man. Again, we appreciate you guys joining us. Subscribe, join, follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a great night.
Salute.